Hey, quick disclaimer, I am by no means a professional quarterback analyst. I'm no guru of film study. I am just a diehard Seattle Seahawks fan, and I've been that way for over 30 years. And in this video, I've done a lot of research. I've watched hours and hours of the game tape on these kids, and I'll tell you what, this is going to be a good quarterback class. So as a Seahawks fan, this has kind of been the pressing matter, and as NFL fans and media as a whole are wondering what we're going to do at the quarterback position moving forward, I think you'll enjoy this video, so make sure to like and subscribe if you like the content. Thank you. Hey, what's up? It's Wes here, aka Seahawktopmists Prime, and this is the Seahawks Times, your go-to NFL channel on YouTube. And if you're a diehard Seahawks fan and you love the Seattle Seahawks, not just like, make sure to subscribe right now on the strength of the team. Anyways, I'm going to go over the 5 top QB prospects for the Seattle Seahawks in the 2023 draft. Touted to be a very strong draft at quarterback. The reason Seattle didn't look at a Malik Willis or somebody last year is because they saw this draft upcoming and they felt that the better players were in this draft. That is to be determined because we never know until the lights come on. Anyways, I'm going to start at number 5, and I'm really excited to make this video. I've done hours of research. I've watched all the video I could on all these players and even dug into their interviews and backstories and their character. Anyways, Anthony Richardson out of Florida. Anthony Richardson, you know, he hasn't had too much time on the field yet, but in his limited action in Florida, he was dynamic. He is touted to be like a Cam Newton type player, but make no mistake about it, he's way more dynamic with the ball in his hands. This guy has breakaway speed. He's 6'4", 232 pounds, got a cannon of an arm, and has been doing this stuff against elite defenses, even in limited action. What I love about Anthony Richardson is he's not running just to run. He's running to break you. He's running to break your soul. And when you leave him alone, he's going to try to get outside. He's good at avoiding hits, and he has crazy breakaway speed. He also has a really nice arm and very accurate, good quarterback percentage there. He pushes the high 60% at QB, and Anthony Richardson is an underrated player even at this stage, and I think Seattle really likes these types of guys. And I could see them looking at an Anthony Richardson, specifically if they like what Drew Lock did, and they feel they can get a Richardson later in the draft and not have to go through their first round picks, etc., or push too high in the first round to get said player. In limited performances, you know, what I really like to see about, the main thing I could say about Anthony Richardson is he's a sound player and he has a lot of leadership ability already. He's super young, and I think that, like, you know, with his abilities and his upside, that he could really make noise in the SEC this year, and his draft stock could go through the roof. So who knows? Sky's the limit for him. I haven't dug into their receiving core and other weapons looking out, but I've watched a lot of film on Anthony, and he looks really, really good. Okay, after that, we have KJ Jefferson out of Arkansas. Now, KJ Jefferson is a really, really special athlete. He's very unique. He kind of has that body type of like a Rashad Penny. You look at him and you go, how can this guy be elite? How can he be fast? How can he throw? He has a really strange kind of throwing motion and a really strange kind of body type, but man, he's fast, man, he's dynamic with the ball in his hands, and he has crushed some really good schools out of Arkansas. Yes, he had Treylon Burks for that one season, and, you know, Treylon Burks definitely helps take some of the pressure off of any QB, but Anthony Richardson has a gun, and he can put the ball in really, really good spots for his players in post routes, various route concepts. I don't see him throwing on the run as much as I would like to yet. That's why I don't have him as like the top prospect for Seattle, but his competitiveness, his aggressiveness on the field, and he has no fear. And yeah, he's just kind of like a strange kind of athlete, you know, just a sneaky athlete that looks like he could fit in any system. So getting into him statistically, he beat the Longhorns, you know, he beat Texas, he beat Missouri, he beat LSU. Like, these guys are no joke. And, you know, you can't tell me Arkansas is trotting out 1,000 5-star prospects that would rather play for the Razorbacks than the Tigers, you know. So props to this guy. He's a real gamer. 2,676 yards and 21 TDs, 4 interceptions, 67.3% passing percentage, and a QB efficiency rating of 164.7 at Arkansas, rushing the ball 146 times for 664 yards and 6 rushing TDs. Man, this guy plays with intense passion. He can really sling, and I have his upside above that of a Malik Willis. Forgive me, I had to take notes for this one because it was a really special video. Now, next, this guy might not be on some of your guys' list, but he's on my list. Will Levis out of Kentucky. Will Levis is from the Northeast. You know, he's from Newton, Massachusetts, actually. Way up there in the Northeast. Kind of rare to see QBs come out of there, I think. Went to school at Xavier Middletown High School in Connecticut. Will Levis, 6'3", he's about 220 pounds, I believe. Maybe bigger than that. But Will is the type of guy that, to me, has the makings of a great one. He has all of the intangibles. His personality, his leadership ability, his humbleness. He played 2 years at Penn State. Kind of that system is not really being as crazy as they could be. Didn't feel like he was going to get the starts. So goes to Kentucky and right away hits the ground running at Kentucky, playing with Wan'Dale Robinson, who is a really good receiver, but Wan'Dale Robinson is all of 5'0". As special as Wan'Dale Robinson is, I think Levis has made so much out of what he has, and he's just an all-around gamer. Like, he's all over the field. You have to watch his tape. He can make every throw. He's good in play action, pro-style offense, wildcat, read option, RPO. He's just different, and his stats aren't that crazy yet because he hasn't been playing that long. But if you doubled his stats over a game season, he'd be right up there with the rest of these guys. 4,000 plus yards, etc., and a ton of TDs. Will Levis has intangibles. He has the ability to really make clutch plays. That's huge. And he just is so competitive. You know what I mean? That is so key to me for what we're looking for as a Seattle quarterback, is him being competitive. He has that it factor, that special it factor. Over the last 13 games at Kentucky, 233 for 353 in passing yards. That's 2,827 yards, 24 TDs, 360 yards rushing, and 9 TDs on the ground. Levis led his team to victory in the Citrus Bowl against Iowa. That was a good game. You should check that out. But my favorite play, maybe of all NCAA last year, was Will Levis's run against Louisville. I'm going to link that below maybe because it was just insane. He just got something about him. It's not statistical. So Will Levis, do your own research on this kid. He's crazy. Next up, a well-known player, C.J. Stroud. Actually, his name's Coleridge Bernard Stroud the fourth. C.J. Stroud, we all know who he is. Ohio State, huge guy, 6'3", 215, long arms of the law, kind of has the body type of a Trey Lance. Playing at Ohio State, it's tough because these Ohio State QBs recently have just not performed in the NFL at the same level that one would hope maybe. I think Justin Fields and now Stroud will have the most upside for that. Rest in peace to Wayne Haskins. But, what I see from Stroud is maybe something different. He has all the intangibles, and he has crazy stats. You got Chris Olave there in that pro-style offense, but Ohio State's also going up against good competition. So for him to do what he's done, being so young, I think the kid's 20 years old, is freakish. Is like almost 5,000 passing yards. This guy, let's look at some of the stats here. For the year he had his sophomore year, 4,435 passing yards. That's crazy alone. 44 TDs. This guy is just crazy. He's got a really big gun. He knows when to run. He knows when to tuck it. He knows he's disciplined. He knows how to run the offense. And I want to use my traditional view of Ohio State quarterbacks and say, this guy can't do it. He's just going to be another this, that, the other. But I think Stroud is different. California kid, Rancho Cucamonga, I grew up in that area in California, even though I'm a Northwest guy, and I can tell you what, man, we got heart. He's going to be able to gun in the NFL, and I think he's going to be special. If he has a good year this year, he probably is the number one over pick just based on, the lineage of Ohio State and his physical measurables and what he's proven. Big Rose Bowl there for him. Check out that game. So that's what I think about CJ Stroud there. And then, okay, the creme de la creme, I guess, is Bryce Young. So we have Bryce Young, Alabama. This guy's awards are crazy. A Heisman Trophy in 21, Maxwell Award, Dave Bryan Award, Manning Award, College Player of the Year 21, Consensus All-American 21, SEC Offensive Player of the Year, SEC Championship Game MVP, CFP National Championship 20. This guy's crazy. This kid has so much accolades, but they measure him at 6 feet tall and 194 pounds. Okay, now if Bryce Young's 6 feet tall and 194, I'm 6'5" and 286. He's not that big, but he is like the size of Russell Wilson with less bulk. But when I watch Bryce Young play, he is looking to kill a team. Like, he's always sliding around, weaving around. He's like a freaking like cobra, like a green mamba. He's looking to just snatch souls on the field. He's bigger than Kyler Murray, so I don't have the same type of injury concerns. He can put on beef. He's really selective on the way he runs. But this guy went to what's that school? He's from California. Yeah, he went to school in California, I guess O'Day or whatever, Maitre D. He's crazy. His statistics in high school was like 14,000 yards passing, 1,000 touchdowns in high school. And then, of course, he gets to Alabama and the rest is history. But watching all of his film yesterday, specifically, I saw that he is really elusive in the pocket. Like, he's really special. And behind a crazy O-line in the NFL level, I don't think he takes a step back. If Mac Jones is that disciplined and you have the physical abilities of Bryce Young could be a special QB. I'm not worried about him being undersized. So in conclusion, I could go on about Bryce Young forever. All these QBs, they're so talented and amazing. Last year, I'll admit, I wasn't as hyped on this class as I am now. I have studied it. I'll admit to that. But this is going to come to surprise. Who do I think that the Seattle Seahawks will select next year? I think that they're going to take Will Levis, and that's going to come to a shock from you guys. But after this upcoming season, you're probably going to see why. Will Levis is like the type of dude that is just destined to do it. His upside to me is like Josh Allen upside. He can scamper. There's not much you can do to contain this guy. Like, this guy is a freak, a one-man army. And if you give him weapons like DK Metcalf, Penny, Walker, any type of player, like he was doing this with Wan'Dale Robinson, you know what I mean? If you give this guy weapons, he's gonna he might be just one of the greats. I really feel that way about Will Levis. I know that might be stretching to a lot of you casual fans, but please go and watch this guy's tape. Watch a single game of this guy. He's freaking insane. That's my take. Bryce Young, kind of, my plan B there. I love Bryce Young. After that, I would probably look at Stroud. But if I get any of these quarterbacks next year, I'm stoked. And you know what? I'm not out on Drew Lock yet. Drew Lock has just as nice arm strength and touch as any of these guys. So if Drew Lock resurrects himself this year, I could see Seattle kind of stepping back and maybe taking a project QB in the later rounds or one of these Henderson and Jefferson type guys. But to get Stroud, Levis, Young, Seattle's going to have to, I wouldn't say tank, but trade up and use some of that capital to get one of those guys. But they might be good enough to do it. So there it is, guys. Will Levis, you can shoot me down in the comments. Do whatever you're going to do. I'm going to take a sip of this delicious McDonald's cola. And you know what it is. Go Hawks. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. See? Hawks. You know what time it is. Much love.